Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Eric Schweenarm. I'm a realtor licensed in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Now normally this channel is designated to having honest conversations about all things related to real estate. But today we're actually going to try something a little bit different, and I'm going to take you along with me on my day for a little bit of a day in the life scenario. So I have a home inspection on one of my listings and a showing this morning. I have an education this afternoon, and I have an open house later this afternoon. So come along with me and check it out. Okay, so it's just a little before 8 and I'm ready to head out for my first appointment. My first appointment's at 9 o'clock, so I'm a little early, but I kind of made a little bit of a mistake when I was scheduling for today. So normally I put everything down on a Google Calendar. That's how I keep track of all of my appointments. When I was scheduling for today, I didn't look at my calendar, and I actually ended up scheduling my home inspection and my first showing at the same time. So in this situation, it's not really a big deal because I don't actually have to be there for the home inspection. So I'm going to head out a little early. I'm going to unlock my listing so the home inspector can do his thing. I'm going to head to my showing, and then afterwards I'm going to come back and check in with the other agent. All right, I've got about a 24-minute ride to my first appointment, so I'm going to head out, and I should be there just a little bit before 8:30. So let's ride. All right, so the home inspector was already there doing his thing, checking out the exterior of the home. So I unlocked the door, and now I'm going to head over to my showing. Normally, if this were my client having the home inspection, I would like to be here for the home inspection for a couple of reasons. Number one, so that if there are any major defects or anything, that I kind of know what we may end up trying to renegotiate with the seller for. And number two, just because I like to be there because it's good information for me as a real estate agent to hear the things that home inspectors find and what they look for, so that as I'm going through showings in the future, I am able to use that as I'm walking through properties. But in this situation, number one, it's not my client. I'm representing the seller, so I don't really need to be present for the home inspection. And number two, the property is vacant. So even if if I was representing the seller, but my client still had all their personal property in the home, I may consider staying for that, just to kind of be there to make sure that their stuff isn't being disturbed. But in this situation, the home is vacant, so no harm in me heading out to my showing, and I'll come back after and check in with the agent and see how everything's going. All right, so I just finished up with the showing here. I'm just going to shut the lights off, and then I'm going to head back to my other listing and check in and see how everything's going with the home inspection. Today's the first day of showings on this home here that I'm at right now. This was actually the very first showing. I have an open house here that we're going to come back to later tonight. So for now, I'm going to head back to the other listing, check in, see how everything's going with the home inspection. Okay, so it's now about 10:15. The home inspector's still here. They're still in the middle of the inspection. He figures he's got about a half hour left. So at this point, I'm going to run over to the office, and I'm going to work on printing some stuff out for my open house later today, and I'll come back and lock up in a little bit. Alright, so it's been about an hour since my last video. I did get back to the office. I did get some stuff printed that I needed for the open house, but I ended up having a phone conference for some land that I have listed that I wasn't expecting to have, so unfortunately I wasn't able to record anything at the office. But I'm back here at the property now. The home inspection's all set, so I've just got to lock up here. And then I'm going to run back to the office, grab what I printed, and then I've got to head out to get over to the Templeton office so that for a training that we have at noon. So it's 11:15 now. It's about a 20-minute ride to get to the Templeton office. So I am heading back to the office, but unfortunately I'm not going to be there too long before I got to head out to my next appointment. So alright, so I made it back to the office and grabbed what I printed out for my open house later today, but unfortunately, if I'm going to make it to the other office for the training, I'm going to have to leave. So I was hoping to get some stuff ready for some buyer showings I have tomorrow, but looks like I'm going to have to do that later. Okay, I made it. It's 11:56, so about 4 minutes to spare. I'm going to grab my lunch and head in, and let's check out this education. Of you that were at Leader Street, if you remember, it was an amazing group prior to a lot of stuff that has happened over the last 18 months. And what we were talking about is what we've understood is price matters most to them. For a lot of people, it is. Now, this part gets really like, because a lot of that is prior. All right, so it's 1 o'clock now. We finished the training, so I'm just going to jump on here, check MLS, see if anything new came on the market that might fit some of the other clients that I have, and get some documents ready for a couple of buyer showings that I have tomorrow. So, okay, so that was actually pretty productive. It's 20 past 2 now, so I made a couple follow-up phone calls from that phone conference that I had earlier today, calling back a couple agents about some offers that they had on some of that land. I also got everything I needed ready for the buyer showings that I have tomorrow, and went through MLS to look at the inventory to make sure that there wasn't anything new that came on that fit any of my clients. So a super productive last hour or so. I'm now going to head back to the other office so I can grab the open house sign, and then pretty quickly I got to start getting ready and setting up for that. So away we go. All right, quick pit stop to grab a pick-me-up for this afternoon. Grab me a Celsius. Not sponsored, they're just super good. All right, so I've made it back to the office, and now I'm going to go see if I can find a open house sign for tonight. Ah, the sign space. Let's see, here we go. Perfect. All right, I'm going to bring this up front, and then it actually just occurred to me that I don't actually have an open house app anymore for signing people in on my new iPad, so or my tablet. So I'm going to do that now, download something. So okay, and voila, we are set. So I think at this point you've probably noticed that, a busy day in real estate where you have multiple appointments also means that you're going to be spending a good amount of time in the car just commuting back and forth to the various appointments. Today all my appointments were local, but even still, I had between 10 and 20 minutes between locations and appointments. So something to consider, especially if you're new to real estate or if you're someone who's thinking about getting into real estate, that you may not have considered is just the fact that while you're going around to different appointments, you have to pay for the gas mileage for you to drive around to these different appointments. And especially right now in a competitive market where buyers are putting in multiple offers before they're able to get one accepted, you're going to go to a lot of appointments before you get one to stick. And as a real estate professional, you don't get paid until you sell a home. So, something you're going to have to consider is the gas and the mileage and the wear and tear on your personal vehicle to drive around to all the different appointments. So I just thought maybe I should come back here and grab a couple of these directional signs for a couple of the streets leading up to the property and the street that the property is on, just so that if anybody drives by and sees it, they'll know how to get there. Alright, so here's my traditional open house setup. I have some documents here to hand out to the buyers, some hand sanitizer. I got a packet that I put together here. Just has, you know, all the pertinent data about the property, the listing sheet, the map, the photos, the deed, lead paint. Then our office also has this sheet here. You know, welcome to the open house, look around. Picture yourself living here, fall in love, make an offer. And then going along with that, I always put out these two little things that I just think are cute. Imagine cooking future dinners here. And then over in the living room, countless family movie nights. Just a little thing that I do. I've been back and forth on whether or not to serve food, but honestly, nobody ever eats the food when I bring it, and I always end up taking it home, so I kind of stopped with that. But I already got a line of people, so let's get it going. Alright, so it's 6 o'clock now, which is the end of my open house. But I did have one person that reached out to me and said that they were going to be running a little late. They might not get there till right about 6 o'clock. So I'm going to hang out for about another 10 minutes to give them a chance to get here. And then I'm going to shut the lights off and head out and head home. So all in all, we ended up with 8 people that came through for the open house, which is a fantastic turnout. I'm super happy with that. I have another 4 showings here scheduled tomorrow, and then another open house on Saturday from 11 to 1. So right now, this has been a really great start to this property coming on the market. I'm super happy with it. All right, so the straggler did show up. They're actually not who I expected, but they showed up nonetheless. So I'm already here. Why not let them in? So they're upstairs right now, walking through. When they're all set, I'm going to close this place down and head home. Okay, so the last people just left, and I'm just running out. Everything's locked up. I blew out the candles. Just got to grab the sign here and the 2 directional signs that unfortunately I couldn't record myself putting out. And then I'm heading home. Alright, so it is 10 past 7 and I'm home. That's it for me for today. So, you know, that is a pretty typical day for me with multiple appointments in a day. Looking back on it, I actually really enjoyed documenting my day today, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did, please hit the like button and let me know, because if you like this kind of content, then, you know, based on today, I'm happy to make more of this type of content moving forward. The one thing I will say is I kind of wish I had a second camera, because there's a couple of times, like with some of my phone calls and stuff, or putting out those directional open house signs, that I wish I could have captured on film, but unfortunately there's only so much I can do with one camera. But overall, I enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did enjoy it, also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on great future content. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you on the next one.